Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Tuesday. It is July the 8th. It is a very warm, sticky, muggy start to the day. The heat and humidity, it's not going to last all week. We are going to see a break, and I'll have all those details coming up in your long range. Hopefully you had a decent day yesterday despite the active weather. We started off with thunderstorms in the morning, and you can send in your pictures and video of active weather. Now, we do have the risk of isolated thunderstorms again today, and the heat and the humidity are certainly going to add to that. The first round could be coming in this morning, anywhere between kind of 8 and 11 a.m., and then the second round coming in later on this afternoon. Right now, fog is a bit of an issue. I'm going to let Raisa show you some of that fog on our traffic cameras, but let's take a look at our temperatures and where we stand. Noon, there is less chance of severe storms later on today, so make sure you stay tuned to the Weather Network to follow all these storms. We'll talk about your long range, we'll talk about the cool down, but first here's Raisa Ahmed with traffic.
Emily?
Speaking of the DVP, today of course is the anniversary of the flooding that happened. So fingers crossed that these thunderstorms will not bring that kind of rain. There's a chance that we could see some heavy rain, especially later on this afternoon with this cold front moving through. Behind it, cooler, drier air mass to the point where we're actually going to be below our seasonal average. Beginning of the weekend looks great. End of the weekend could be
This weather segment.
From the minute I got up at about 3:30 a.m., my Twitter feed was buzzing with thunderstorms. I just want to avoid getting hit by lightning on the way to work. A windstorm. Yeah, I would think so. I just woke up to let my dog out, and he won't go out because it is raining so hard. That was the story earlier this morning in Windsor. We'd like to thank Barb for sending in this amazing shot. Lightning captured on camera. Well, that was one crazy thunderstorm last night. Kept me up for a few hours and through Kitchener and Waterloo. Whoa, that thunder just rattled the windows. And that was in through Hamilton, Ontario earlier this morning. Hi there, good morning. It's Tuesday. It is July the 8th. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is a very hot, sticky, muggy start to the day. Current temperatures, we're sitting in the high teens. For the most part, we're looking at 18 degrees through Toronto, Oshawa. It's going to get even hotter this afternoon. We are looking. Here's Rachel with a story of one resident.
It was a disaster when the Greater Toronto Area flooded on July the 8th, 2013, especially here in Mississauga at the residence of Jeff Hill.
It was devastating. It was like a dark hole. You're looking down the basement, but you could only look down a small path, maybe a foot from the ceiling. So it was a different sort of sight.
Jeff estimated that approximately 67 inches of water flooded into his basement.
Yeah, it was my birthday. I was kind of hoping to have a nice dinner, really.
Happy birthday. Today? Hopefully today will be a much better day. We'll talk about the long range. We'll talk about the drop in heat and humidity coming up. But first, Raisa, what's going on the roads? Thanks, Raisa. Well, we do have two rounds of storms on the way. We've got the first round this morning. We're expecting it to move into the Windsor area around 6 a.m. and then kind of be our story in the GTA, possibly by about 11. Now, we are going to be seeing another round later on this afternoon along the cold front. Those storms could be a little bit more severe in nature. When that cold front hits that warm, muggy air that we've been experiencing, that's where we could see the severe cells fire up. High pressure, cooler, drier air mass moves in behind it, and we're actually going to be a little bit below our seasonal average for the next couple of days through Toronto, Hamilton, and Oshawa. Unfortunately, we were just talking about the flood last year, 126 millimeters of rain. It was record-breaking. It changed GTA weather history. We are seeing, unfortunately, the risk of isolated thunderstorms again today, and some of them could be severe, and they could pack quite a punch in terms of rainfall amounts. First round will come in this morning just ahead of the front. Second round this afternoon along the cold front. The good news is that if you don't love the heat and humidity, things are really going to cool down behind the front with a cooler, drier air mass.
Go to the...
Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's Tuesday. It is July the 8th. I'm Emily Vukovic. We've been talking about how we are going to cool down, but not for now. We have got heat and humidity rising again today. We're seeing so much moisture in the air right now, we actually are dealing with a bit of fog through the... Well, that could potentially bring a lot of rain, and that could bring your memory back to this time last year. Today is the anniversary of Toronto's flash flooding, where we saw over 126 millimeters of rain. Mike Arsenault talks to a stranded GO train passenger. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be remembering this day last year, that's for sure. All right, we'll talk about the temperatures changing dramatically in just a moment, but first, here's Raisa with traffic. Thanks, Raisa. Yeah, there's a lot of moisture in the air, and that moisture is going to contribute to the thunderstorm activity. It's that hot, muggy, wet kind of air, and we've got 2 rounds of thunderstorms coming through the GTA. The first one being this morning, anywhere between 8 and 11 a.m., and then the second one being this afternoon. This one could pack more of a punch depending on how much sunshine we see throughout the day today. Well, unfortunately, we do have the risk of a few isolated, possibly severe storms. We've got 2 rounds coming throughout the day today. The first round is going to be ahead of this cold front, and then it all depends on how many storms materialize, how much cloud cover comes in with the first round, because that's going to depend on the severity of the second round. Of course, the more sunshine we see, the better chance we have of seeing more severe cells firing up, which means heavy rain, strong winds, and the potential is there for some small-sized hail. High pressure moves in tomorrow, really cooling down our temperature. Hi there, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's another hot, muggy start to the day, and we can thank those hot, muggy conditions for bringing in some isolated thunderstorms throughout the day yesterday. It's amazing. Now, we do have the risk for some isolated thunderstorms later on today. We've got the risk this morning and this afternoon, and the intensity of the ones this morning are really going to determine the intensity of the ones this afternoon, if that makes any sense. The more cloud cover the storms bring in this morning, the less chance we have of severe cells firing up, because we need a lot of sunshine, the heat, and the humidity to make these cells severe. So the first round coming in this morning, and then the second round along that cold front by this afternoon, and then we've got a cooler, drier air mass coming in behind it. It was on this day last year that Toronto saw some really bad flash flooding. Here's Mike with the story. Thanks, Mike. I'm going to turn things over to Raisa now for an update on your commute.
Union all the way through to the DVP 404 split. Emily?
Well, speaking of the DVP, you remember it was this time last year on this day we saw 126 millimeters fall at Pearson. Lots of rain caused lots of flooding. A lot of people are stuck on GO trains. People abandoned their cars with the water right up to their window. And unfortunately, this is not a repeat. I know you're thinking, did I just hit rewind on my PVR? No. We do have the risk of isolated thunderstorms today, and they could be severe in nature. Now, we are going to see the first round of thunderstorms move through this morning. Second round could be more severe later on this afternoon, bringing in very strong winds and, of course, unfortunately, heavy rainfall. High pressure moves in behind it. A cooler, drier air mass. We're actually going to be below seasonal for the next few days in the GTA.
Go to the weather.
Thanks, Kevin. St. Jacobs Market, probably one of my most favorite places to be. Well, it was on this day 1 year ago, Toronto picked up 126 millimeters of rain. Rachel Schusting caught up with one resident a year later.
It was a disaster when the Greater Toronto Area flooded on July the 8th, 2013, especially here in Mississauga. Jeff estimated that approximately 67 inches of water flooded into his basement.
Thanks, Raisa. Well, we all remember a year ago where Toronto had record-breaking amounts of rain at Pearson, 126 millimeters, and unfortunately, we've got risk of isolated, possibly severe thunderstorms throughout the day today. We are going to see the first round move in this morning, second round later this afternoon when that cold front hits all that warm, muggy air. That's where we can see the severity pick up. Biggest threat, strong winds, heavy rain. Behind that, we do have a cooler, drier air mass moving into the area, so much so that we're actually going to be below seasonal. Tomorrow's daytime high, we're expected to see 20 degrees through the city of Toronto.
Once you get past Eglinton, though, it's moving along at a fantastic pace. No slowdowns. You're going along at a smooth rate. Emily?
All right, well, it was this time last year that we had the devastating flood through Toronto where hundreds of people were trapped on subway station platforms as well as in the GO train. Unfortunately, we do have some severe weather on the way today. We could see some pretty decent thunderstorms not only this morning, but the second round could pick up later on this afternoon. The intensity of the storms this morning will certainly depend on the intensity of the storms this afternoon. The more sunshine we see, the more intense the storms could be late afternoon in through the evening. If the first round brings in a lot of cloud cover, the storm severity this afternoon will lessen. We do have an area of high pressure moving in behind this cold front, which is going to bring in a cooler, drier air mass for below seasonal temperatures.
Go to the west.
This is really good.
You're mean, Kevin. Can you bring me back some cherries, please? That'd be good. Just one or two. Love cherries at this time of year. Okay, we do have the risk to see some active weather through severities around the afternoon. The first round brings in a lot of cloud cover, that could lessen the severity of the storms this afternoon, but if we do see a lot of sunshine, of course, that will contribute to the convective activity. So we could see some pretty decent storms moving through. We'll talk about your long range. We'll talk about the cool down in temperatures, but first, here's Risa with traffic.
Down. Emily?
Thanks, Risa. Well, here's a look at the thunderstorm activity. First round this morning. When it moves out, the second round starts to move in. And this is going to be just along the cold front. Now, behind the cold front, I've got good news for those that do not love the heat and humidity. A cooler, drier air mass is going to move in, and we are actually going to see below seasonal temperatures. As we get closer to the weekend, that high pressure sticks around. So Thursday, Friday look great, comfortable. By Saturday, we do have the slight risk of seeing some isolated showers, possibly thunderstorms into Sunday, and temperatures are going to start to heat back up once again. Honestly, one of my favorite places. Thanks, Kevin. Now, we do have the risk for some active weather today, and many of you will remember it was on this day last year. Kasia Badurka has more on a look back. Wonderful perspective. Thanks so much for that, Kasia. All right, I'm going to turn things over to Risa right now. She's got an update on your commute. Well, we do have the potential for 2 rounds of storms today. The first round coming in this morning, the second round being intensified with the heat and the humidity later on this afternoon. And if we do see some sunshine, that is certainly going to make the storms potentially a little bit more severe. Once this cold front moves through later on this evening, we've got a cooler, drier air mass coming in behind it, and temperatures will be below seasonal for the next few days. And make sure you bring an umbrella. We do have the risk of isolated showers and thunderstorms throughout the day today. The first round coming in this morning, the second round coming in this afternoon, and unfortunately some of these cells could turn severe. Biggest threat's going to be heavy rainfall and strong winds. Along the cold front is where we're going to see the more severe storms later on this afternoon in through this evening. Daytime heating and humidity certainly playing a factor in this. The good news, if you don't love the heat and humidity, that cold front's going to take it with it. We are going to be seeing a much cooler, drier air mass move in behind with high pressure in place. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday look great. Sunday, however, we do have the risk for some active weather moving in the area. We could see more thunderstorms through the GTA.
Go to the west.
That's pretty close. Whoa.
Thanks, Kevin. So much fun. St. Jacobs Farmers Market is probably one of the best places you could visit this summer. If you've never been, it is absolutely a must-see. All right, we do have some active weather on the way. It's not going to affect the farmers so much this morning. We're going to see some potential storms moving in through this morning, late morning, and then later on this afternoon, that's where we're going to see the severity kind of fire up. We do have the risk of seeing some sunshine. I know I'm saying it like it's a bad thing, but it could intensify these storms later on this afternoon with the heat and the humidity and that true cold front coming through. That's where we could see the convective showers. We'll talk about what happens after the cold front coming up in your long range, but first, here's Risa with traffic. Thanks, Risa. Well, we do have that risk of isolated thunderstorms, and this cold front plays a really important factor in that. We could see some severe storms firing up along this cold front, but behind the cold front, we do have high pressure moving in, so we are going to see some sunshine for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and temperatures are actually going to be below our seasonal average. We should be around 27 for this time of year, and we're not going to get anywhere near that. We are going to see that chance of active weather moving in through cottage country again on Saturday and into Sunday, but take a look at some of these temperature values. We are going to see a daytime high of 20 tomorrow, 21 for Thursday, 24 for Friday, and then the heat and the humidity start to build back up just in time for the weekend. Cherries, so good. Okay, we do have the risk of some active weather, so if you are heading to St. Jacobs, do it this morning before we do see that risk of thunderstorms increase. We're going to see kind of first round this morning, second round this afternoon. If we see sunshine in between these rounds, we could see some more severe cells firing up. Now, it was 1 year ago today, Toronto picked up 126 millimeters of rain. Kasia Badurka takes a look back. That's a great perspective. Thanks so much for that. All right, I'm going to turn things over to Risa. She's got an update on your commute.
Emily?
Well, we've got that chance of active weather today, but behind this cold front, we have a much cooler, drier air mass moving through. It's going to drop our temperatures significantly, so much so that I'm going to skip the long-range movie and show you the forecast. We've got 20 tomorrow, 21 for Thursday, warming back up for the weekend. Well, we do have that risk of isolated, possibly severe thunderstorms throughout the day today. The heat and humidity certainly adding a very active ingredient to these severe storms. It's going to be mostly this afternoon when the cold front moves through that we do have to worry about the severity of these cells. Well, if we do see quite a bit of sunshine, of course, these thunderstorms could be a little bit more active. Once this cold front moves through, however, the humidity is going to drop dramatically. We are actually going to see a cooler, drier air mass moving behind it with high pressure. So we are going to be seeing some sunshine for both Thursday and into Friday. Saturday looks pretty good as well. Cottage country could see some active weather, but the active weather moves through the GTA come Sunday. Thanks, Kim, for that. Around the World in 80 seconds. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Tuesday. It is July the 8th. And Kevin Yard, I'm so jealous of Kevin Yard. He's joining us live from Jacob's Market today. And Kevin, how are the vegetables?
Eat your heart out, Emily. These are good.
Okay. Why are you so mean to me, Kevin? Really? Okay, yeah, as Kevin was mentioning, we do have that risk for some isolated, possibly severe thunderstorms, not only this morning, but again this afternoon when the cold front moves through. Behind that cold front, we have a cooler, drier air mass coming in, which means our temperatures are actually going to be below our seasonal average for the GTA right into the weekend. Check out our website for more information on our top 5 videos. It's Tuesday, it's the 8th of July. I'm Emily Vukovic, and if you remember, which most of us do, it was on this day last year that Toronto experienced some flash flooding. 126 millimeters of rain was recorded at Pearson. It won't be a repeat of last year, but with severe thunderstorms, we do have that risk of heavy downpours and strong wind. Kevin Yard is certainly at the place to be. This morning he joins us at St. Jacob's Market. And Kevin, I'm really jealous. Would you stop eating cherries in front of me?
I'm back inside to the studio.
Thanks, Kevin. So good there. Everything is so good. Here's that cold front that could ramp up the intensity of our storms later on today. We've got cooler, drier air coming in behind it with below seasonal temperatures.
Meanwhile, straight hair will fall and lose its body because of that extra moisture. And that's the science behind a bad hair day.
It's the time of year where most people really care about the weekends. We've been talking about the heat and the humidity and then the cool down. Joining me, meteorologist Dr. Doug Gillum. Okay, so we're like this, literally. This is how our summer has been so far. Hot, cool, hot, cool. Where are we now on the roller coaster?
Well, as we go into the weekend, we'll be on the upswing. We're going to have an incredible day on Friday, the nicest day of the week. Lots of sunshine, temperatures in the mid-20s, low humidity. It's a great start to the weekend. It's going to be even warmer on Saturday.
Okay, but Saturday we do have the threat of a little bit of active weather. Not so much for the city of Toronto or even in through the GTA, but towards cottage country.
Yeah, and we've seen an improvement in the forecast since yesterday. Now it looks like the threat for thunderstorms for the GTA will hold off till late in the day or until the overnight. Now, up in cottage country, you could see those storms late in the day, but the most active weather will be Saturday night and Sunday.
Okay.
This looks really pessimistic.
It sure does.
Showers and thunderstorms are likely on Sunday, but it doesn't look like an all-day rain, but a rather active, unsettled, and muggy day.
Because this looks like an all-day rain.
It sure does.
Just listen to what he's saying instead of looking at the map. Now, this is something that I'm not so keen on because we like to see the oranges and the reds and the yellows. That means the heat in the summer. Blues, we don't like to see.
Now, this is a rather chilly pattern as we go into the middle of next week. Several days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, temperatures will be well below seasonal.
He's talking like 20 degrees. So still mild, but not as mild as we should be for this time of year.
This weather segment.
Head to the video section of our website for more information on our top 5 videos. I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks for joining us. You're watching the Weather Network. We do have some active weather on the way today. Thunderstorms. It was 1 year ago today where we picked up 126 millimeters of rain at Pearson, and unfortunately many areas of Toronto did see some intense flooding. Mike Arsenault caught up with one stranded GO train passenger.
Arsenault.
Okay, well, let's keep our fingers crossed that that exact same scenario does not play out today. We do, however, have some active weather on the way with this cold front, especially this afternoon. Behind it, we do have an area of high pressure, so we are going to see some sunshine Wednesday, Thursday, Friday into Saturday. Temperatures are going to be much cooler. We're actually going to see below seasonal values. Tomorrow, our daytime high is only 20. Thanks, Kim. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Tuesday. It is the 8th of July, and Kevin Yard is making me jealous every time I throw to him. He is eating a different fruit or different vegetable at St. Jacob's Market. Kevin, how is everything tasting this morning?
Sounds good. There's one for you.
There we go. Emily, eat your heart out.
Crisp, sweet, eating apple.
There you go. Crisp, sweet, eating apples. There you go.
Really, Kevin? All right, risk of some active weather later on this afternoon. We'll have more on this coming up. You can always head to our website to check out more on our top 5 videos. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Tuesday, it's July the 8th, and it is a hot and muggy start to the day. We can take that mugginess and say goodbye. It's going to be leaving us by this afternoon, but now we could see some decent lightning of our own today. We do have the isolated risk for potentially severe thunderstorms firing up through the GTA. The first round moving in this morning, late morning into about midday, and then if we see some sunshine after that round of storms, we could see severe storms firing up right along this cold front later on this afternoon and into through this evening. And we're going to have Weather Network teams out in the field tracking these storms, so make sure you stay with us for all the details. A cooler, drier air mass moves in behind the cold front.